Okay, so have you ever tried to back up the RV and had an argument with your spouse?
It's true. The struggle is
That
real.
has never happened to us.
No, we never argue at all about backing up the RV, which is why we found a backup camera.
So I want to say, though, this is the second one that we purchased. The first one we purchased, we took it to the professionals and they said, oh no, you can't use that. It's not long. It was only for 45 feet. So rather than having them upsell me, we returned that. And here we are.
Decided to go without.
We tried, honestly, because we hadn't even given up. We hadn't given it a try when it comes to backing up the RV. And I will say, in his defense, in 2 years, he's gotten a lot better.
I'm not bad. But
However,
there's sometimes that it's a little trickier.
And also on the highway, knowing...
And being able to see
what's behind
traffic behind us on the highway will be nice.
Like when we drive through Atlanta.
Because that's always a challenge, because sometimes people get right up on your tail and you can't really tell that there's a car behind you. And this camera will allow us to actually have the camera on all the time, not just when we're in reverse. So it's sold by Imaco. It was $140 on Amazon. It comes, the link's down in the bottom. So it comes with a monitor screen and a couple of different mounting bracket options. The camera itself is right here. And then I've got a whole bunch of pieces and parts to use to attach it. It does come with an instruction manual, which is unfortunately almost useless.
And how many YouTube links that were
there were 4 YouTube videos available that were all also equally worthless. So if you have no idea how to work with electronics at all, this is probably not a do-it-yourself project. I think I'm going to be able to do this. We're going to see. It's always nervous whenever you're going to start drilling holes into the outside of your RV.
Which we're not going to do.
I'm going to have to do, but we're going to make sure that things work before I start drilling.
Yeah.
So there could be a little bit of bumbling around on this video. We don't know how that's going to work. We're going to wait and see. And this could be really interesting.
Well, and if any of you have done this and you have this bulky screen in your truck and have like a Garmin GPS, I'd love to see pictures of what you do. Because my concern, once he figures out the electronics, is having this in the truck and having the
GPS.
RV GPS, because we have, our truck has a GPS, but then we have the Garmin that's for RVs so that we don't get, you know, down a dead end road or something with lower,
under a bridge
lower bridge. So, but I'm really curious as to how this is all gonna set up in the in the truck.
It's gonna be interesting. So we're gonna start kind of just muddling through this and seeing what happens. And I don't know what kind of video we're gonna get while we're working through it. It is, what time is it right now?
It's already 5
o'clock. So that means I've got about an hour and a half of daylight left, probably. So we'll see what I can get done in an hour and a half. All right. So my limited faith in this product so far has made me decide to not peel the little screen protector off the screen. So it came with 2 different mounts. I just put a fan mount on it right now, just to have something while we're getting started here. So it's going to set right up there, and it needs to kind of angle a little bit better so you can see it. We're just really getting it into the truck to get power to it, to see how that's going to work. It is a cigarette lighter. It can also be wired into the radio or to the fuse box if you want to do that. Right, we might do that eventually, but for right now we are going to go with this. If it's working well, then I might work on figuring out how to put it into the fuse box. So I've got it plugged in. Unfortunately, I forgot the truck keys, so let me go get those. All right, truck keys, important thing to have. So I'm gonna get the truck going here. All right, so I've got the power button here. The whole thing seems to be powering on. But I have no camera, so I have no signal yet. So let's go get some electric on the camera to see what it's gonna look like. All right, so what we're thinking here is we've got these 3 tail lights up here. So we think we're just gonna remove this light completely and put the camera right here. So start out by snapping that off and removing these screws. And there's my wiring right there. So as you can see, I've got these crimp nuts on here once again. So I am going to...
Brian, is the electrical off?
We should be okay.
Okay. Always like to do my part.
Yeah.
Notice people, he said we should be okay.
We should be okay. We're gonna hope that we're okay.
If the power's off to that, then how are we gonna have power for a camera?
Well, then I have to plug the camera back into the truck.
You mean the...
Or the power, yeah. Plug the RV into the truck. All right.
So in other words, we're gonna finish this project in the morning.
Possibly.
It's late here, people.
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock. It's not 5 o'clock somewhere. It's literally 5 o'clock here. Mama's thirsty.
So the next challenging thing on RV wiring is that the 12-volt wiring, the color is always a little bit weird. The white should be the negative, the ground, and the green should be the positive. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed and hope that that is accurate, and that's how I'm gonna attach things here. So this is where I would tell Michelle to turn the camera off so that we don't get me getting electrocuted on camera.
Oh no, we're doing it all because I asked.
Yeah.
I asked the question.
So here we go.
Don't fall off the ladder. I need you.
I think I need a little bit extra space here on my. I really need a little bit more wire.
You didn't bring any wire strippers?
Put that back in there. Give it a good crimp. Okay. So now, if I've done everything right, I should have electricity ready to go to this so I can plug it into the truck and let's see what happens. We're just going to test the camera before I mount it to make sure it's actually working. All right, so we've got the RV attached to the truck, and what we found out is that these top lights up here don't work with our daytime running lights. They only work when our lights are actually turned on. So we have to turn the lights on. Of course, nighttime driving, the lights come on automatically, so those are powered. But during the daytime, we'll actually have to turn the headlights on in order to have power there. So now we're going to plug this in. If everything is according to plan, we plug this in, and I should now have a live camera. So I'm going to kind of set it down here, and let's see. So it sets here, and we're going to go check and see with the RV. Check into the truck and see if we've got power. So let's go around. All right, so we're in the truck and we have everything powered off. Turn the monitor on, and look at that. That was pretty simple.
Good.
Yeah.
Now,
so that means now we officially can mount the camera on the trailer since we know it's working, and I feel good about that.
how big of a project do you think that'll be?
Couple of screws and a little bit of caulk to make sure that the hole is sealed, and we should be fine.
Yay!
So let's go do that.
Let's go do it.
Okay. Go. All right, so this was the light that we took off the side of the RV. So one of the concerns, and you can see up there that hole, now that's an entry point for water to get into the RV, and obviously we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is the mounting bracket for the camera happens to fit in this, and this has got a good sealing on it. So I'm actually just going to put this right back up there and mount the camera onto this so that we've got a better seal. I'll put some silicone caulk around the edge to make sure that it's really good and sealed shut, and that's going to be it. So back up we go.
Back up he goes.
All right, so these wires are just going to go right back into the hole. Along with all of this wiring, because I don't need any of that.
Once we figure this out, it's honestly not that bad.
It's really not as complicated as I was concerned it was going to be. Now the screws that came out of that, I'm just going to put right back in.
I love that it fits in there. And we got a signal. Forget that paying a whole bunch of money for installation. I have Brian.
The installation was like $150.
Yeah, and the camera was $150, so.
And I didn't have to cut a hole. I mean, the only tool I've needed is a screwdriver.
And
pliers to fish the wire out.
And something to clean the caulk off. You cleaned the caulk from the light off, right?
Yeah.
So just scrape that off.
So there we go. That's now on. Now this is the mounting bracket for the camera. You see that's just gonna fit right in there. It fits kind of snug, so that's perfect. But here, it's gonna pre-drill a little hole. There we go.
That will make your life a little easier.
It will. And I don't have to worry about cracking or breaking the plastic this way.
Sorry about the background noise. There's a pretty Trans Am coming through. And by pretty, I mean loud. When I'm making a video.
There we go, piece of cake. And that's just going into that foam that was on the back of the light fixture. So no problem there. Now that's snug. Nice, don't have to worry about anything there. Tighten it down just a little bit more. There we go. Well, that's good. Now, the camera plugs in like this. This is a pairing button if things get unpaired, I guess. We don't really need that. It says that that is safe to be out in the weather, but I really feel like I'm going to just put everything down in the hole because I can always fish it back out if I need it. So I'm just going to feed as much as I can down here into that spot. There we go. All down in there. Now, a couple more screws to add in.
Looks really good from here.
Kind of guessing where I'm going to want how I'm going to aim the camera, but I'm going to have to hop up here one more time to adjust.
Well, if we stop recording, then I can call you on my phone.
Yeah.
And you can.
And it may even require some additional adjustments after we drive with it the first time.
All right, Brian, you ready for me to turn this off?
Yeah, I'm just going to tighten this last screw. Michelle's going to go check the adjustment and we'll show you the finished product in a second. Hey there, we are driving home at the end of modification weekend. Sure feels like it. At least we did a bunch of upgrades and a bunch of little modifications. And we wanted to show you the camera in action. So here it is. It is attached right now. Now the only downside we found is that we have to actually have our headlights on in order for that light that we hooked it to be powered. So we're running in the daytime with our headlights on, which obviously isn't a problem. We would have had our daytime running lights on anyway. But we just have to, it's an extra step. We have to remember to make sure we're always turning the headlights off because that's a concern. So it's kind of nice. It's like having a rear view mirror again. It's kind of amazing. I can see the traffic behind me and that's kind of awesome. So,